Monty FTR, take one.
Monty FTR. Yo, what's poppin'? Welcome to Bhroman Braapsody. This is where we review cars and motorcycles, mostly motorcycles, and guess where I'm at? With my sensei. I'm here with my sensei, the one and only, at Indian Motorcycle Greensboro Triad. How are you, sir?
Marvelous, Bhroman. How are you?
Living the dream.
Absolutely.
Living the dream. And what is this motorcycle, this beautiful motorcycle that's standing in front of us today?
That's the FTR Championship Edition.
All right. So this is a 2022 Indian FTR Championship Edition. And in today's episode, we're going to talk about the bike, because why not? I'll show you around the bike, the features, all of that good stuff, take it out on the road for a spin, share my thoughts with you guys, talk about the cost of ownership, and most importantly, assign it a Bhroman score. But before we do any of that, if you're new to Bhroman, you gotta hit that like and click that subscribe button, because we put out content every week and your support would mean a lot. It's me, it's your boy Bro, and I am your Bhroman. So I know this is the championship edition because Indian wants to pay homage to the awesome stuff it's done from 2017 to 2021,
right? Winning
it 5 years in a row.
Yes. Well, absolutely, and that's it has the badging right here on the tank. 2017, 18, 19, 20, and 21 absolutely won the championship. A lot of cool additional features on this bike. It does have the 19-inch wheel package in the front, 18-inch in the rear. As you can see, the wheels are popping.
They are popping, yes, sir.
You know, of course, the red frame, and who doesn't love carbon fiber? Not to mention that it also has the hidden passenger seat under the carbon fiber cowl. So it's just a really hot package. Touch screen, wheelie mitigation, it's got all the tech on it, fully adjustable front and rear shocks. It's a bad boy. Really, it's just an overall great package. I think anybody that enjoys a performance standard style bike should come and check this bike out.
Yeah, and it also has traction control that you can turn on and off. It's got all the good stuff that Indian has to offer in today's world.
100%. Yeah, and a lot of guys, just regular guys, are taking these out, and this is what they're hooligan racing now, and having great success with it. And we're very excited about the product. Now, naturally, this product's not going to be for everybody. A lot of the bulk of our riders and customers are traditional cruiser and bagger customers, but there are also a lot of guys that are my age who started out on a standard bike. Now they're at a point where their life where they'd love to have another standard bike, maybe as a second bike even, and the fact that it has top-level performance is a definite plus. So this is a lot more than maybe the 400cc standard bike that a lot of us had that was maybe made in the late 70s, early 80s.
At the heart of the bike and the performance is a liquid-cooled 1200cc
correct
V-twin again, because gotta have a twin.
Gotta have a twin.
And it puts out 120 horses and 87 foot-pound of torque on a bike that weighs about, what, 500 pounds?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, 500, I mean, mid 500s fully wet, but it's still a lightweight bike. When you consider that the bulk of the weight for this bike is the powertrain, it's a lot of muscle under that hustle.
And I really love how the paint scheme of the bike kind of pops out. Like you have this little decal on the fuel tank that matches the trellis frame, which match the wheels.
I agree. I mean, on the one hand, the bike has a very raw look, but then as you continue to look at it, you start to see just how refined it is. And to me, that's very special. But it is a really super cool bike. I mean, it's a bike that somebody could take and do a quarter mile or eighth of a mile pull with, take off, ride through the tail of the dragon, and head straight for VIR for a lap day and keep trucking. I mean, it's versatile. It's extremely versatile. And the other thing too is the FTR lineup really is pretty diverse. I mean, even from just the starting spot for the most basic FTR all the way up to with this bike and the R Carbon, it's obtainable. You can get into it and you can justify the price and getting that type of performance.
Now the other special thing about this is there's only 400 of these made. So this
Well, that's
is
a good
one
point.
Of 400.
Yeah, anybody that has one of these in their garage, they will have a very, very unique bike. You're not likely to look across the street and a neighbor has one in their garage. It's just not happening.
Unless you and your neighbor both decided to buy the same bike.
That's right. I mean, if I have anything to do with it, everybody in the neighborhood would have
the same
yes,
bike.
but it's just not likely to happen.
Well, Sensei, this is a beautiful bike. You mind if I do a quick walk around and
Yeah,
show them around the
absolutely.
motorcycle?
It's got LED headlights, a nice carbon fiber casing all around it, carbon fiber fenders on the front, a skinny-ish tire, skinny-ish front tire. Now this comes with a 19-inch front wheel rather than the 17 that we get on the FTR Carbon, and it has dual 320mm disc brakes with Brembo brake calipers. As for the rake angle, this has a 26.3 degree rake angle. What's a rake angle, you ask? Well, draw perpendicular from the steering mount, follow the fork tubes. That's the rake angle. Smaller the rake angle, the more nimble the bike is, and larger the rake angle, the more stable it is at higher speeds and highway speeds. It's a liquid-cooled motorcycle, so behind there you have the radiator, fully adjustable front suspension, and fully adjustable rear suspension. And the carbon fiber doesn't end there. You have carbon fiber on the tank, and the tank also has this like little decal where it gives you the 5 years that Indian won the FTR, the flat track racing championship from 2017 to 2021. It says it's set it over there. It has nice round mirrors on both ends, and on your left hand side you have your passing lights, cruise control settings, your back button. This is your joystick to toggle through the menu, turn signals and horn. And on the right hand side, that's to select through the screens, or toggle through the different screens, and your kill switch and starter on the right hand side. You get a regular key, because it's a flat track racing bike, it's a FTR. You are not gonna have keyless ignition. You're gonna have an old school key that goes in down there, and here you have a 4.3-inch display that's powered by Ride Command. Indian's patented Ride Command or trademarked Ride Command setter. So let's go ahead and turn it on. Yeah, it tells you it's an Indian FTR 1200, just in case if you didn't know about it. Down here you have lights for your turn signals, error messages, check engine, ABS, neutral, high beams, fuel, and right turn signal. It's a touchscreen as well, so you hit OK. And there you go. There you have this thing. You have your odometer, your distance, your fuel range, your speedometer, tachometer, which gear you're on, your compass, and outside temperature. On the side, it gives you a time, your riding mode, traction control, and if the traction control is on or off, and if your side stand's on. So on your left, you have these buttons. So you press the one in the middle, it takes you to this screen. Here it gives you your gauges. You can select your brightness, your riding modes. You can turn your traction control on or off. You can go into phone settings and pair a phone if you so choose to. Then you have your music. If your music is connected, if your phone's connected, or via Bluetooth or whatever, it will play in your speakers if you have Bluetooth speakers. And then you have settings. You go into settings. There are 3 or 4 different tabs. This is the first tab. You can go into more settings. You have themes, Bluetooth devices, language, all of that. More for your time, and then finally for the motorcycle. So this also comes with the cylinder deactivation, like it does on the big Indian motorcycles. So what it does is basically if you're stopped and it's hot, it deactivates one of the cylinders, so it's just running on one. And when you're on this screen and you flick the joystick up, this changes. You can get a more standard racing screen, racing sort of screen with a tachometer, or go back to this one. That's pretty cool. You can choose between these 2 screens. Moving down, you have your fuel cap, carbon fiber everywhere, a pretty decent looking seat, carbon fiber seat cowl at the back. As you can see, the seat continues under there, so you can take it off. For a passenger, you have passenger foot pegs, and it has a 6-speed transmission, and the license plate holder and turn signals are down below, whereas your tail light is here. It's a pretty cool little design. I like it, man. It's a really sweet looking bike. I love the design. I love how the exhausts go up. They're exhaust by Akrapovic. More naked trellis frame on this side. You can see the race replica colors here, the racing colors. This beautiful white decal which says it's an Indian.
What is Indian Motorcycle Greensboro Triad?
Well, we were one of the first 2 Indian motorcycle dealerships in the state of North Carolina, and we did start off in downtown Greensboro, and in the past year we relocated to our new, more modern facility off of North Main Street in High Point. So we're still right here in Guilford County. That's when we adjusted the name to Indian Motorcycle Greensboro Triad, and we were really one of the first handful of dealers that were a brand new Indian dealer under Polaris's leadership when Polaris redesigned the bikes. We came on early. I was in dealer development with them, looking to open a dealership in 2013, right about the time they've released the first batch of 2014 bikes at Sturgis in 2013. So, and then we opened up in early 2014. And so we've really been there with Polaris since really the beginning and seen the great things they've done with these bikes, and very proud. Full service center as well. You know, we're not perfect, but we try hard. Anything in service, diagnosing these bad boys can be, you know, from very simple to you know, involved. Luckily, the Indian bikes are extremely reliable. So most of what we do in the service department is accessories and you know, maybe some performance tuning and things like that. But at the same time, we are a full service center.
And they're also gold certified.
Yep, gold certified, multiple gold certified techs available.
And then as of now, you're still a remote Lloyd's tuner?
Yeah, so we are a Lloyd's remote tuning center, and we felt like we wanted to offer our customers that were looking for even a higher level of performance, both in their Thunderstroke engines as well as their Challenger lines, you know, a little extra pop. And after doing a lot of research, the Lloyd's group have been excellent, great communication with those guys, and look forward to continuing to tune bikes with those guys.
That's awesome. And not just that the service department is Gold Star certified, he himself is a Gold Star certified technician.
Sure, yeah. Highly unlikely I'd be back there with a wrench working on your bike, but I did go through all the training, and was one of the first people with really in the entire dealer network to get an in-person gold certification training at the factory. So you know, I think there was one group that went through before I did it, but I did that just to improve my own personal knowledge of the bikes and better communicate with my staff and customers. So and to help me really better communicate with the engineers and the service techs at corporate. So.
And the people here, the staff here are friendly, knowledgeable. You can walk in, have a conversation with any one of them. And I'll put the website link in the video description below. Come on down here, check them out. When they come down here, who should they say sent them to you?
Well, they need to say Bhroman sent them.
Yes.
Plain and simple.
Tell them the Bhroman sent you, and you'll be taken care of. We've been talking on, and I kind of lose track of time.
Let me check.
Do you happen to know what time it is?
According to this watch, it's right o'clock.
It's right o'clock. Let's go.
If you guys are new to Bhroman, give us a like and hit that subscribe button. We put out content every week, and your support would mean a lot. So let's get on with it, shall we? Let's start her up and take a listen. Yeah, that's the twin sound, and we are gonna start out in standard mode. We're not doing anything funky, which means we should start off with our first test, which is we'll make a couple of U-turns and see how this puppy maneuvers, shall we? U-turns with a short wheelbase, relatively lighter weight, and that rake angle and stuff. Yeah, U-turns are no problem whatsoever. Now when you put it in sport mode, it is a little jerky at first, so I'm gonna start off nice and easy in standard mode, and we'll work our way up from there. So this is a taller bike, so I can't flat foot it. I'm not on my tippy toes, but I'm not really flat footing it either. It's time to do our second test, our pull test, and we go. When you're in first gear, you don't feel the pull a lot, but as soon as you get into second gear, it just yanks you forward. Just yanks you forward. Let's talk about the first impressions of this motorcycle, shall we? Well, I am sitting up quite upright, like you would on a naked bike, and I don't have to reach out for the handlebars. The handlebars are not really pulled back towards me either. They're at a standard position. It's quite good. No complaints there whatsoever. I love that sound of a twin, man. The sound sweet and pumpy. Not quite like the chugga 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 of big V-twin cruisers, but hey, it's not bad. Oh, one thing I've noticed is I love these mirrors. They're big and round and you can see a lot of stuff behind you. My legs are not bent weirdly. I'm sitting quite comfortably. I'm 5'10" with a 31-inch inseam. I'm actually quite comfortable on this motorcycle. The seat feels good. It's got a little bit of cushioning to it, so all of that helps. Well, this does not have a quick shifter, so you have to use the clutch. Wah, wah, wah. Big deal, right? Well, yeah, as you give it gas, you can feel the V-twin coming to life. We're not even in sport mode, and we are having fun with this bike. Stoplight coming up. Let's check out the brakes. Well, it's got Brembo brakes, so no surprises there. That these are Brembo makes some really amazing brakes. So I was riding this bike a bit hard, but it does not. I'm not getting a lot of heat coming out of it, which is a really good thing. I like it. It's liquid cooled, of course, so it's not gonna be super hot as compared to my Roadmaster or the other air-cooled V-twins that Indian puts out. Let's try out rain mode. Close throttle, and yep, you should be good to go. As soon as you go into rain mode, you can definitely feel the bike, like all the electronics come on and stuff. Like I'm in fourth gear doing 42, and now if I twist the throttle, it does hustle a little bit. It's trying to do it in a very smooth and linear fashion. That's what it's meant to do, and not get you in trouble when the conditions are wet or you're driving in rain. Not let you slide it in and out. So what we'll do is I'll just hop on the highway real quick for like a mile, or cover a couple of miles, and see how it does on the highway. So this way we can start off my questions the opposite way. Alright, so let me do this. Can we change modes on the fly? I think we should be able to, yeah. So close throttle, and we should be in sport. Yeah. Alright. So, is this a good bike for riding on the highways and touring? Well, let's find out. Going on speed. So going up to speed on the on-ramp onto a highway is no problem whatsoever. That 120 horses and 87 foot-pound of torque come to play right away. As for wind protection, there is none, so I'm being blasted with a lot of wind. Upper body, lower body, torso, all of that. It's a nicer day today. I think we have temps in the 60s, and if not like mid 70s, early 70s, so it doesn't feel too bad. But I'm assuming on colder days it's not gonna be fun. That being said, it does feel very planted on the highway. I'm not being thrown around, so I think you could do some highway riding on it. This is not a touring motorcycle, so I'm not gonna say you can go touring. You could probably do a couple hundred miles or so on it. If you put a saddle, if you put a backpack, a tank bag, and all of that. But yeah, this is not a touring motorcycle, but it doesn't feel out of place on the highway. Is this a good bike for commuting? Well, yeah, this will be great for commuting. Now, this does not have saddlebags,
I know that on the like the FTR rally and stuff, you could get one, like the leather bag on one side to put some stuff in there. We probably could for this as well. But if you have a backpack or a tag bag where you can put stuff in it, you should be just fine. This is quite light and definitely decently nimble. It's as nimble as your regular standard bikes, I would say. So commuting should not be an issue at all. Now this does not have that 17-inch wheel, front wheel, so it might not feel uber sporty or super sporty to ride, but for commuting it should be fine. Is this a good bike for beginners? Well, I wouldn't say it's a great bike for beginners for a few reasons, of course. This bike would be costing you close to 20,000 or about 20,000 out of the door with tags, title and all of that stuff. It's not very heavy, it's about what, 530 pounds or so, but it is a tall bike, so maybe not the best for beginners. But and then it's got a lot of power, and not that it's not like it's got 200 horsepower or something like that, but the way it puts out the power, it comes on really quick and it's very smooth, but the power is infectious, you guys. So for those reasons I would not recommend this as a beginner bike. Nope, not at all. So what about the cost of ownership? So, in conclusion, the FTR Championship Edition, it's got the larger front wheel, the 19-inch front wheel instead of the 17 like the Carbon does. A lot of carbon fiber parts all around, and it's actually very well balanced. And this is like a collector's edition item of sorts, with only 400 being made. As with all of these FTRs, I just love the power delivery and how compact and nimble they feel. I personally am a big fan of the 17-inch wheel, but even with this larger wheel, larger front wheel, this does not feel ungainly of any sorts. Now I haven't taken it to a flat track or off-road to see how it performs there, but on the road and on the streets, I think it does pretty well. And before I peace out, a huge shout out to our friends at Indian Motorcycle Greensboro Triad for letting me do what I do, and thanks to you guys for all your subscriptions and likes and comments and whatnot. Y'all help me doing what I do and loving what I do, so keep your knees in the breeze and I'll see you soon. Bro out.